All right, Dave, thanks for having me on here. I'm excited to talk to you. I know camera's not focused yet. Hopefully we can get that camera a little bit better focused. There we go. All right, still not focused, but that's okay. If you guys are just joining us, if you're joining the live, drop live in the comments below. If you are watching the replay, drop replay in the comments below. I come well prepared. I've got crazy amounts of notes here to really just give you the best that I can give you. I've been in network marketing now for over about 12 years. And in those 12 years, I've had so many highs. I've had so many lows. The highlight reel I saw Dave already gave of some of the successes that I've already have. The lows are my 5th month in network marketing. I made less than $400 for the month and I was working 80 hours a week. That's embarrassing, isn't it? But where I lacked in talent, I made up in being crazy coachable, having great mentors, and working my butt off. And that's what I did. So I'm going to give you some experiences that I learned. I was the #1 recruiter out of 1 million distributors in a multi-billion-dollar company. I've had some really good experience with consulting. I've spoken in 15 plus countries the last 2 years. And from that, I feel like I'm learning more now than I've ever learned before, because now I have all the biggest and best leaders sharing with me their insights, their secrets, their tips. So I'm going to come to you from experience, sharing both my failures and successes, right? Learning experiences, combined with, right, other people's successes as we go. So we're going to have some fun. If you guys are joining us, yeah, let me know where you're watching from. We got Vegas, we got California in the house. I'm in Utah. I know Dave's in Utah. We got people from all over that are tuning in as we go. So how to increase duplication in your team and get the newest person running fast. There's so many different places that we can go with this. So first thing you got to understand is that, where do we begin? I mean, this is, let me give you my quick story on this. When I started out, I became eventually good at recruiting, but I couldn't duplicate it all. And I thought, this is so hard. This sucks. All I do is, what's up, John? I just keep sponsoring. And why can't one person just do what I did? And then fast forward 4 years, I finally started getting some really good duplication where it was the other extreme. I remember I was very fortunate. It was a company called Mint, M-Y-N-T, that I created for a $4 billion company called Monavie. Some of you have heard of them. And I created this company called Mint for Monavie. They're no longer. That's why I can mention company names. Normally I wouldn't mention company names. I ended up merging those 2 companies with another company. Otherwise, I'd never mention company names. I'm 100% generic. I'm not part of any company. I support the industry, do coaching, consulting, speaking. So I launched it, and we did $1 million in sales the very first day. And 5 months later, I'd only sponsored 1 person. I went from being the #1 recruiter, thinking I'm going to recruit, to I'd only sponsor 1 person. Now, don't misinterpret that. That was 5+ years of experience, blood, sweat, tears, traveling around the world. Some of you have done this, right? This is before social media. And so I remember traveling and driving 15 hours to be at this meeting where they were going to fill the room, pack the room. And there was 2 or 3 people there. It was bad. I had to learn the hard lessons as we went and do this. And so as we went and doing this, I learned that every single dud knows a stud. Now, when I say dud, I'm not saying it in a way I'm trying to put them down as a human being. I mean, as far as in network marketing goes, right? As far as direct sales goes, as far as from the standpoint of, you know, skills, sales skill set, that's what I mean. I want to clarify on that. So if they know you, they know someone like you. So you need to think that this person, I'm not sponsoring people anymore. I'm sponsoring circles of influence, because distributors sign up other distributors. Leaders launch teams. Think about that. Distributors sign up other distributors. Leaders launch teams. Distributors sign up other distributors. Leaders sponsor circles of influence. They say the average person knows 2,000 plus people if you include, like, from, you know, growing up, elementary school, high school, if you went to college, communities, previous communities, jobs, previous jobs. If you add it all up, they say the average person knows 2,000 plus people. So you're never sponsoring a person, you're sponsoring a circle of influence. So now as we start to understand this mindset as we go, the next thing they need to understand is the law of credibility. As your credibility grows, you're going to find that your success increases. So I could have had the same skill set, impossible, but let's just use an example. When I started day one in network marketing, I still wouldn't have been able to get the newest person into action right away the same way I could 5 years later, because I didn't have the track record or credibility. It'd be like if I'm giving you all financial lessons, I believe you'd listen to me because I've done well financially. But if Warren Buffett were giving you financial lessons, you would, all of you would be like, oh, that was amazing. Even if he said the same thing I said word for word. Why? Because his credibility, rightfully so, is way higher than mine. Whereas the same thing if somebody you know that's a friend that's never made any money ever, they're giving you financial advice versus me giving you financial advice. So you have to understand also that part of getting the newest person to duplicate fast is you becoming the person you would want to recruit. And as you do that, as long as you keep taking the same amount of action, you're going to have more success. But this is what happens, is people sponsor 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 people, whatever it is, okay? And at some point, they go into management mode. There's a difference between being a leader and a manager. And they go into this management mode because it's easier to avoid the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of judgment. So now, right, this is what they do. They become the super supportive upline. So now it's every single time they send voice messages or on Zooms or calls or texts, hey, anything you need, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Are you kidding me? It doesn't take that long with how incredible your Facebook groups are and how much training you have, right? And videos and different things. Yes, get them launched, but the highest income producing activity is actually talking to new people. So let me give you my tiers real quickly, really fast here. These are the income producing activities. Tier one, number one, work in this business talking to brand new people. You should spend 90% of your time there. Number two, third-party validations. What is that? Just another voice, whether it's a Zoom and they hear someone else's voice, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a group chat, right? On Messenger, voice message, they hear another voice, whether it's your people or someone else's people, third-party validations. Number three should be adding to your lead list. That could be on social media, adding people. That could be people that you find, that you meet in random places, wherever. It's just adding to your lead list. Now we go to tier two. Talking to your team members. Some of you are like, what? You're telling me to abandon my team members? Of course not. It doesn't take that long though. But if your team members are putting you in front of new people, then great. But what happens, like I said, is you sponsor 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, and at some point, you're trying to get everyone to do what you did, which is great. That's what we're talking about, getting them into action. I just want to clarify, if they aren't putting you in front of new people, then it's up to you to go find new people. Stop acting like when you reach out to them, we are in massive momentum. And it's the same people on the Zoom every single time, right? Like you can say the same thing over and over again, but just because you yell it louder doesn't make it better. So you gotta take action. We don't want to become the broke know-it-all. If you know everything and do nothing, you know nothing. So the key is we are always wanting to talk to new people, whether that's our people getting us in front of new people, right? Which is one of the major goals, or us reaching out to new people. Tier two, number two, I've got written down is nurture current leads and relationships. I always like to reach out. I do 10 a day. It takes me 5 minutes. Non-business related, just be a good human being. I'm just connecting with people. It's not long chit chat. I don't waste time or anything. I'm just being a good human being, reaching out to people because I generally care about people. Tier three, team trainings, personal development, sending anything relevant to your company. All three of those are important. I'm the guy that's read/listened to over 1,000 books the last 12 years. But guess what? If you are the person, again, that is making the plan for the plan of the plan, but you aren't taking action, you're never going to have the success you're looking for. You got to make sure that you understand the main thing is talking to new people, whether that's your people or you talking to new people. That's the main thing. Because I'll tell you, that's the number one reason I see network marketers don't have success is because they just go into management mode and they start treating it like net lottery ticket marketing, net hoping, net wishing, net dreaming, net looking around, right? And they don't treat it like network marketing. So it's a major key for all of you is think of it like this. Tier 2 and Tier 3 are the fuel. They're important. Tier 1 is the fire. Too many people are taking the fuel, and what they're doing is they're taking this fuel and they're just like this. They're just pouring the fuel and they're just like pouring, and they're like, "What, Dave, John, what's going on? Where's my bonfire? My business isn't having success." It's because you're being the super supportive upline, managing everybody. Hey, what do you need? How can I help you? How can I help you? I'm here for you. Anything you need, I'm here for you. Let me help you. Let me help you. Become the person you would want to recruit and stick to those income producing activities. And I promise you, what will happen is you'll start to break rank. You'll start to gain more confidence. You'll start to gain more credibility. You'll start to get more out of the person you're working with. Now, going back to getting that newest person into action right away. When somebody starts, this is a very graphic analogy. I don't mean any harm by it or anything like that. Oh, before I forget, Dave said I'm totally cool with this. Just so you guys know, books are like expensive business cards. They're not big money makers, but for me, I'm passionate about it because it's a hobby, I feel like now. So I had my first book, The Game of Networking, come out, and that did really well. And this book, I was kind of scared to come out with a second book, to be honest. And I share basically what I did is this released yesterday, this book did. I took a poll of a couple hundred network marketers and said, tell me what your top fears are. There were about 30 fears listed, and then I took the top 5. And then what I did with those top 5 fears is I wrote an entire book on how to conquer those fears, because mindset will eat skills and systems for breakfast. If you don't have the right mindset, you're not even going to be around long enough to develop the skills and systems. Then I went through, are you a victim, survivor, or conqueror? In each one of the fears, and gave real life examples, inside of network marketing. And then I gave solutions on how to overcome them. So you may be good at this already, but learn this so you can teach your teams even better. And so to give you a gist on part of it that has been fun for me studying, I learned the most from studying this stuff, is survivors live too much in the past. Or sorry, not survivors. Victims live too much in the past. Survivors are most of the time celebrated, where people think survivors are the ones that are successful. Well, guess what? Survivors are the ones in network marketing that keep showing up, and they don't quit. That's great, but they don't have success, and it isn't talked about enough. That's tough love. I'm not quitting. That's the first step. Let's celebrate being a survivor, but it's not enough. The reason why survivors have success is because eventually they stop living in the future. Survivors live so much in the future of someday. You got to become a conqueror, and conquerors live in the present. Conquerors borrow, right, from the future, like a survivor, right? They learn from their survivors, and they learn from the past, and they take both of that information from the past and the future, and then they make it where it's focused right now on the present, and they will go and make things happen. So that's the key, is how do you become a conqueror? The most successful network marketers aren't always conquerors. The difference is they're conquerors more often than the masses. They still go into survivor mode. I went into survivor mode a ton, right? I went into management mode a ton. Even though I was the #1 recruiter at 1 million distributors, full disclosure, I was in management mode, right? I was just in the highest income producing activities more than most. And that's the key. And those are some of the things. So if you guys end up ordering the book, Audible, not yet, John, sorry. If you guys end up ordering the book, I do check this live in comments and stuff. Just comment below, order it. I'll see it a little bit later. But just remember that as far as victims, survivors, conquerors, you'll see that. I dive way more in depth on that. I go into the income producing activities. I go into the success formula. I go into a bunch of different things that will help you out for your business. So coming back now to getting the newest person started. What we do is we want to get them to action. I gave you the income producing activities. I gave you lots of ideas. But now as we get into action, when the newest person starts, you have got to get them into action right away. What do I mean by that? Don't send them, oh, go watch these videos and learn about the comp plan. And if you're going to learn about this, and then you're going to learn about that, and then go watch this video, right? They are so overwhelmed that they end up not doing anything. And like I said, I was going to give you a graphic analogy. They are on their deathbeds. They are on life support. Anything goes wrong, they're done. They're done. So what I want is, I don't want them going to bed with nightmares. I want them going to bed with dreams. What's the difference? If they don't reach out to anybody new, and you're just the super supportive upline that's like, watch this video, watch this video, watch this video, watch that video, and you don't get them to reach out to new people immediately. Yes, I said immediately, and I'll teach you how to do that in a second. It's successful people just do the basics better. Then what happens is now they go to bed with nightmares of thinking of worst case scenario, right? We already know what fear stands for. Fantasize experiences appearing real. And it's like, what if they say no, no, no? But if you help them in a simple way, empower them and get them to reach out to brand new people right away, because this is when they're the most, in a positive way, delusionally optimistic version of themselves. They're at this euphoria of excitement of, oh my goodness, all my dreams. I could take my kids to Disneyland, or pay this off in debt, or get out of my job, or get my spouse out of their job. They're thinking of all the dreams. They're thinking of every single thing, right? But guess what? Guess what happens? If you don't take advantage of helping them during that state of mind, they go to the complete opposite. So I want them reaching out to 3 people, right? Let's say they reached out to Linda, and they reached out to Regina, and they reached out to Moses. Now they're going to bed thinking, oh my goodness, if Linda joins this business, oh, she is just a social butterfly. She will talk to everybody. And Moses, he is so much influence. This is going to be incredible. And Regina, oh, she knows, she just is incredible. So now they're going to bed with dreams, thinking about possibilities. But where most network marketers get stuck is they are so excited someone said yes, and then they're scared for the next step that they don't help take action. So we're leading them. So how do we lead them? We mirror them, number 1. Get the most you can out of them. Why? Because it's the best way I can help them. If you can only get them to reach out to 1 person, then so be it. If you can get them to reach out to 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, as many as you can, in a way that you're leading through influence, not through title. So I'm not bossing them around. My language is that of, I would say, hey, Dave, look, yes, this is your business. You can go as fast or slow as you want, but just like a rocket where it uses most of its effort and energy when it launches, we're going to spend a little bit extra effort and energy, because my number 1 goal is I want to help you to make your money back. So we're going to keep it super simple. The only thing you're going to do is just share your story. And your story is what are you excited about? Or what did you see? That's it. And then you're selling them on taking a look, whether you're selling them on taking a look at the product or the business or both. That's it. That's duplicatable. Everybody can share it. But when we start getting into, every different thing about the products and every different thing about the comp plan as far as an invite goes, we think we're giving them reasons to be excited, but in the end, what we're doing is we're overwhelming them. So we need to simplify the approach so we can get the newest person into action right away. And you need to hold their hand during the launch, because if you don't, the other analogy I'm going to give you is it's like getting on an airplane. And you get on an airplane, you've never flown an airplane, and the person that signed you up in network marketing, right, your upline is the pilot, your co-pilot, and you get in the airplane with them, right, like you're launching your business, and they say, oh, Rob, here's the training manual, right? Here, go just read this and go watch this video. Anything you need, let me know. And then you jump out of the airplane. You're going to be like, I'm out. I'm not flying this airplane, because you're so scared. But once you get up and you launch, it's not that easy. It's not that hard, actually, to fly an airplane. It isn't. I've flown an airplane before, and I'm clueless. It's not that hard once you're in the air. But getting launched is scary. So you've got to hold their hands, and you've got to understand that if they don't do anything the first 48 hours, they're very unlikely to ever do anything at all. The first 48 hours are so key, and I think actually right away. It's not like you think that they're going to be more comfortable. Very few people are more comfortable. It's not like all of a sudden that, a week later they've done all this training and now they're excited. No, they're not. The longer you go without them reaching out to people, the less likely they are to do anything. And I firmly believe that most, once they've decided to do this as a business, right? It's different if they transition from product to business. But once they decided this as a business, I've found that it's like 95%. That's my made up statistic based on what I've seen. Never do anything at all. Now, you may be the exception of the rule, a couple of you listening, that's great. But most never do anything at all once they've decided to do this as a business. Knowing that you've got this, what do you call it? Like hourglass, right, with sand? Like it's just time. And every single time you help them to get somebody new that's interested, it's like you reset that. And eventually you get a couple people that join, and now it's like that hourglass has way more sand, giving you more time to empower them and help them to see the vision to have more success. Because everyone can say they have a vision, but you don't really know how strong your vision is until you get your butt kicked, right? It's like, what didn't Mike Tyson say? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face, right? It's the same thing. Everyone says they have the vision, but you're just trying to help them get from day 1 to day 7 to month 2 to month 6, because that vision grows. And as the vision grows, that's the most important thing. Because if the vision isn't big enough, they're not going to be able to handle any rejection, any failure, any of the different fears I listed in the book. They're not going to be able to handle these fears. So we got to make sure we give them the vision and the perspective. And you got to make sure right when they start that you get them into action. Now, you also realize, like I said earlier, is mirror them. Never feel like you're their boss and let them know. And if you feel like they're pushing back, then that's okay. But just let them know, hey, I take it personal. My goal is to help you. I know it's scary. Everything worthwhile is scary, but we're just going to simplify it for you. And then you got to tell them why it's worth it. The 2 questions everyone asks themselves, this comes from the book, The Influencers. Number 1, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth joining you? Is it worth getting rejected by friends and family? Is it worth having friends and family judge me and make fun of me? So you're always conveying that. Even people that have just joined your business at different levels, right? New levels, new devils, you're still conveying that. Then you're also conveying, right? Can I do it? Those are the 2 questions people are asking. Can I do what you're doing? That's why I simplify everything. And is it worth it? Those are the 2 questions every single person is asking. And when you know that, I would write that down. That helps you in your language on what you convey, what you say, how you say it, why you say it. Helps you to ask the right questions. It helps you with the newest person. But my challenge is for every single one of you, every single one of you. Hey, thanks, Juanita, for getting the book. Is right when you get someone to join your business, get as much as you can out of them. That is the best way to help them. My mentor, and this is the last story I'm going to tell you guys, my mentor's made over $30 million in network marketing. I'm lucky, I'm fortunate, I'm blessed, I'm all of the above. Like literally, I know I am. I know I am. Because to be trained by this individual who was one of my best friends, I was teaching his kids tennis, running a tennis club, was great. And he called me up after the first 2 days. He had been out of town right after he signed me up. And he said this to me, Rob, right, this is old school when everything was always 100% phone. He said, hey, who are you getting me on the phone with? And I said, well, I work till 2 p.m. But I said, I will get people to your house tomorrow. And he said, Rob, urgency is synonymous with wealth. He said, you're done at 2 p.m. today. You get people on the phone with me at 2 p.m. today, or we're done. I'm never working with you again. I still love you as a friend. But he said, successful people know that there's no such thing as tomorrow. I'm like, freak. In my mind, I'm like, dude, I thought we were friends, right? But I mean, he was just giving me some tough love. Now that style may not work with a lot of you, right? It doesn't really matter. Extract the principle, not the technique, right? He gave me a good kick, swift kick. And the truth is, I didn't have anyone coming to his house the next day. The truth is, had he waited 2 more days, I probably would have become a casualty in this business and never engaged. But because he gave me a kick in the butt and created the urgency and the value without begging. Now, again, you got to learn to mirror people. He had made $30 million, so he had a different set of credibility that most of us would have. So that goes back to the beginning of this training. But he knew where he was at and what credibility he had. And so I got into action. I reached out to 250 people my first 3 weeks in network marketing. It was a skincare company, and I brought in $45,000 in sales. I'm naturally an introvert. I was the worst salesperson in the world. The tennis club said I was really good at running a tennis club, but awful at selling tennis memberships. They called me in their office several times, but I was really good at inviting and getting people to take a look. And those couple days really propelled my entire career. And had he not made that call, I would have been done. So I'm just telling you, right? Successful people just do the basics better. And I'm telling you that you've got to figure out, right, how you're going to best reach out to people and make it very serious. I like to say today or tomorrow. I like to tell people, Ron, even if they're busy, I tell them, hey, I get it. My sell is getting them to take a look. You're busy. If you're not interested, I'll never bother you again, is what I say to people. But I promise you I wouldn't waste your time. I promise you it's worth taking a look, even if we need to chat at midnight. They don't want to talk at midnight. I don't want to talk at midnight. Nobody wants to talk at midnight. Okay, I apologize if they say, yeah, let's talk at midnight. You're going to reach out to me like, Rob! But I'm setting a tone. Remember, urgency is synonymous with wealth? So I say today or tomorrow. I don't say in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I say it's that important. We got to chat. And that's the type of tone and posture that I'm creating and my teams were creating to really create this viral effect to get the newest person into action right away and to help with that duplication to make things happen. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you end up getting the book, comment below ordered. If you didn't, that's okay. We provided hopefully some value and free training for you. You guys can come back and tag your teams on. Dave, thanks for having me on. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Hopefully we can do another training sometime later this year as well. Appreciate it, guys.